Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Triple W, also known as the Triple Dub. I've got my three girlfriends with me here, and the reason why we started this podcast is because we all are in the Wizards locker room. Not currently because of COVID-19. However, we all cover the Wizards, and we've known each other for years, so we decided it would be the best time to have a Zoom podcast. So I just want to start off by saying thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us, hopefully. My name is Becca Winker. I'm the director of Wizards Extra. I've been a Wizards fan all my life. I've also hosted Locked on Wizards podcast. And I've been watching the Mystics, the Wizards, since I was a kid. I wanted to be a WNBA player. However, the doctor told me I was going to be 5'3", and that was it. So here, I think I'm 5'2.5", if you want to get technical. So I want to have the ladies introduce themselves. I'm going to start with Carita.
Hey, everyone. I am Carita Parks, one member of the Triple Dub podcast. And I'm also, as Becca said, I cover the Wizards on a regular basis. I'm the owner of Double Take Sports and also a reporter for the Wizards with Sports Journey. I am from Jacksonville, Florida, so I'm probably the newest to DC in this group. I was born and raised there. I moved to DC about 9 years ago. And I love this city because there's so much sports to cover. I cover NFL, everything sports. So it's been a good time. And I absolutely love it. So at this point, I'll throw it over to Candi.
Hey, everybody. You know, I got to start my hellos like that. This is your girl, Candi Waller, also known as C-Wall. I'm the founder and CEO of C-Wall Sports and Entertainment. I'm also the host of Coaching from the Couch that comes on every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Facebook Live. I'm from this area, PG County girl, proud PG County girl. Everybody's probably laughing and smiling because they hear me say this all of the time. So with that being said, I'm a fan of all things DC sports. So trust me, for all the heartache, I'm right there with you. Trust me. So we're looking forward to some good moments though. But with that being said, I'll turn it over to Bree.
Hey everybody. Yes, my name is Bree and Brianna Holmes, but you can call me Bree. I am a digital producer and I am a big fan of the NBA. You know, I started watching sports, like of course with the NFL and watching like the Super Bowl and all the big games and stuff. But it was over the last few years that I was like really into the NBA, really learning it, getting to know the players, coaches, teams, all of that. So yes, I am excited for us to take what we were doing in the locker room and just talking amongst each other in our group chat and everything to now be able to say it out loud in front of everybody. So this is going to be fun.
Yep, absolutely.
We've got a lot of stuff going on. So that being said, we have four amazing ladies doing amazing things on the side, and now we're here collaborating together. So tonight, I think what we're going to do is kick off our toast of the night and let you guys know what we're listening to, because we will be starting a Spotify playlist with all of our songs. If the songs are questionable, it's probably me. But if not, if it's anybody else, they'll have the good songs. So I'm going to start by saying I'm drinking champagne tonight because I am celebrating doing something amazing with my friends and my colleagues. And the song that I'm listening to is Safety Net by Ariana Grande and Ty Dolla $ign. So who's next? Carita?
Sure, I can go. So I'm drinking a pineapple wine tonight because I love the sweet stuff, but this was a seasonal wine, so I had to cop a few bottles. And I'm going to have a good time tonight because, as Becca said, we are celebrating episode number 1. What I'm listening to is Beyonce, Mood Forever. I've just been in a really good mood right now, and it just seems to go along with how I'm feeling. So that's just the vibe that I've been on as of lately.
I love that. Candi, what do you listen to?
So when it comes to the music part, my sisters in sports here are gonna have to help your girl. Because I'm like, I don't know the name of the song. And guess what? I don't know the name of the song, but I know who it is. It's Busta Rhymes. It's the newest Busta Rhymes album. I have no idea the name of the album, but I've been listening to it all the way through on repeat and have been enjoying myself while listening to it. And as far as my drink, I have a glass of rosé wine by the McBride sisters, the Black Girl Magic brand. So
I have to try that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I haven't
listened
to the Busta Rhymes album yet, but I'm definitely going to. I hear a lot about it, so I'm definitely going to. My song is If You Ever, featuring Black, and it's by Nao. I think that's how you say her name, but Nao. And I just really like the song. It's a good, it has a nice beat to it. She has a very unique voice, so I really like it. I'm drinking champagne as well. And and so the song that I chose in the lyrics, it says, if you ever change your mind. And as we move into our first W, which is the Wizards, there's been a lot of changes that have happened. I mean, if someone was to tell us back in 2018, when we were all covering the Wizards, right? And it was Wall, he got injured. And if someone was to tell us that, hey, this is going to be the last time you're going to see John Wall in this locker room. And on top of that, in about 2 years, we're going to be in a world pandemic, you'd probably be like,
not cool.
Stop pranking me.
What
planet are you on?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Crazy?
What? John Wall, not a wizard, and the world is shut down. What? That would just be a lot to take in. So unfortunately, I mean, I don't know. It's like I think we're all in like a mix right now, right? Of how we feel about how this trade happened and what's the results of now the Wizards. But let's start with, how did you guys even find out?
Twitter.
I think I found out the same way everybody found out. Twitter. It was Shams who broke the news, right? Or was it Woj?
At first it was Shams.
Yeah.
He had the rumors about a week before, and then Woj came along, and that's when I knew it was real, because after a while I was like, okay, I can't trust Shams because he just tweeted something and then the Wizards organization denied it. So then when Woj tweeted it, I was like, oh God, there's no way this isn't real. And honestly, I was very upset that night for that reason. And also because people were tagging me in that tweet as if I haven't seen it already. Hundreds of people. So thank you, Twitter, for keeping us informed.
Right. Yeah, everybody, I think, we all saw that tweet come down, and then it was just like, dang.
Well, I mean, we saw the tweet before, like you said, a week before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But then it seemed like it died down and okay, it's all good. And then
I got comfortable.
Well, you guys remember we were on the press conference with Tommy Shepard, I feel like the week after, and it was the message of we're not trading John. And I think he said something like, I was just with John this morning in a workout.
Right.
He's looking good. He's happy. He's this and that. And we're like, oh, okay.
Right. And then it was the whole, now John Wall is demanding a trade, and it's like, and then people are going off of that and saying like he wanted to be out, he wanted to leave, and it's like, no, I don't
buy that for a second.
Yeah, that he did not want to leave. DC is like his second home. He said that plenty of times, and so it was just really hard to hear, just because, again, like the biggest point, some people are like, what, he didn't even play the last 2 years, or he wasn't even like that good since since the Boston playoffs. And it's like, yes, some of that stuff, yeah, he didn't play the past 2 years, but everything that he's done for this community, adapting to the people here in DC and the DMV, and just really being a face and just being out there, I think resonates with a lot more people than what exactly he did on the court,
Yeah, I think it was definitely the emotional aspect of it all. And just to Candi's point with Tommy Shepard, like, remember, like, Bree, we were at John Wall's Thanksgiving assist. I think it was a day or two after the press conference. And, you know, John, he would not answer questions about the trade and whether or not he requested a trade. Like, he had a lot of no comments, which was a red flag because he's very open with the media and he talks openly about it. So it was a little bit of a red flag, but I was still holding on to hope.
Yeah. Yeah, and we did kind of feel like he was a little off at the event, and I don't know, it might have been like a sentimental thing that he's like, dang, this is about to be my last event here for a while, because he already knew what was coming, or you know, because when they say like, oh, it just happened this morning, like it didn't just happen that morning, like they're like, all this stuff has been talked about before. So so yeah, it was sad. What are some of you guys' fondest memories of John Wall as a Wizard?
Candi, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. First, let me say, before I even get into my fondest moments, John was nothing but kind to all of us on this podcast. So I know there's always a lot of chatter about his attitude or what have you, but for us in media, he was always nothing but kind to each one of us.
Yeah.
Super cool guy, playful, and he's just was cool to be around. So I think that needed to be said, because, you know, sometimes things can get misconstrued out, you know, once things get public, and he was always good with us. But my favorite John Wall moment is Game 6 against the Boston Celtics. That game-winning shot. I'm sorry. That was like,
I had a feeling.
That was just when he and here's the thing, it wasn't so much about the shot for me, y'all. It was when he jumped up on that scorer's table. It was like, this is my city. And I was like, yes. Yes.
I was in the building. Were you guys in the building?
Yes, I was there. I
was in the 400 section with my dad. Literally, my dad was crying. I was like losing it. Like, it was the most magical, you know, Wizards fans never get their way. So for something to go their way, it's like, okay, even if we lose game 7, which of course we did, we'll always have game 6. We'll always have game 6.
Yeah. And when he left, like, that was the clip they kept playing, is when he got up on that scorer's table. So that was definitely an iconic moment.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah, I was in the car on my way to my friend's graduation in North Carolina, and so we watched it on like a little phone, but it was just like we were all like really like my whole family in the car, just like, oh my gosh. So
the energy was crazy.
Yeah. It was
seriously
crazy.
I've never experienced anything like that.
It was super crazy in that building for sure. I like stayed out all night. It was crazy. I went and took pictures by the Ben's Chili Bowl with them when they had their mural up there. I was like,
I could not go to sleep. I was up all night.
Yeah.
What about you, Becca?
Well, so I was thinking game 6 that's the default one, right? But I think a memory that I think of John Wall when I think of my fondest memories is the fans that he bonded with and the fans that he interacted with. So I would say he got pretty close with a 6-year-old named Maya, who was, she had a rare form of lymphoma, and it wasn't just like a one-time meeting, you know, like he really bonded with her, you know, he FaceTimed with her, he got Nicki Minaj to like, you know, say hi to her, you know, like she loved Nicki Minaj. So the fact that John Wall was able to just be that middleman for, you know, a kid who's suffering through so much. And I think when, unfortunately, when Maya passed away, you know, that game that he played when he had his shoes, rest in peace, Maya, on his sneakers, I think when he was interviewed by Chris Miller, he really showed that he really cared. So, you know, most Make-A-Wish, you know, most kids who get to meet their dream athletes, you know, it's normally a 1-hour thing or a 1-day thing. But I think the fact that John Wall really got to know her just spoke volumes as who he was as a person. So I'll always remember that.
Yeah, that clip had me like almost in tears because I put that in his farewell video, which also was like a great video that the Wizards put out.
Yeah.
But it like I was like, oh man, it like has so many like sad moments, but it was very well put together, and that was one of the moments in there.
Yeah,
So,
they did a great job with that. They did.
I guess I can go next. For me, my fondest moment was actually kind of on the media side, but just witnessing what he did in the community, and his back to school event last year, went to that, and just the way the kids look at him and how they were following him around, and how he took time to literally take a picture with every single child that got a backpack. I mean, that said a lot. And just smiling all that time, I mean, that's a lot. So, but he took the time to do that. And then just what I said with the Thanksgiving assist, like literally the community that was standing in line, they were chanting, like yelling his name, like trying to get his attention. Don't leave us, John. I mean,
Yeah.
like this community really loved and embraced him. And so witnessing that for me was one of my fondest memories. And then also last year at Media Day, I did an interview with him. It was maybe 5 to 10 minutes. But like we talked more about like his injury, the music he was listening to, him going to school. It was just like a very real conversation. And to Candi's point, he was always so kind and just open, at least in my experience, to talking to the media. Really, I felt like I was talking to like one of my homeboys when I was talking to him. So
he's very down to earth.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, my fondest memories is basically all of you guys is wrapped in one. The same thing, like when I first saw the clip that that Becca was talking about Maya, unfortunately after she passed away, you know, just seeing the trust between Chris Miller and John, and just seeing the professional media person that he was, and that he wasn't just like, okay, well, tell me how you feel, keep on, okay, like keeping the interview going. Like he saw how much, you know, he knew how much that little girl meant to him. And so the fact that he wasn't going to try to, you know, get the moment or whatever, and he was like, not okay, yeah, go ahead,
Put his hand on his back and was like, it's okay.
And that was like a really, you know, that was a really outstanding moment as well. And so so seeing that too is part of the reason why I wanted to get into sports media too, because you get to see the human side. You know, you don't just see them playing on the court, but you get to see the other side of these players as well. Right. And definitely another memory too, just the little in-between stuff, just randomly seeing John in the hall, or you know, around the arena, or talking to him at shoot around, or you know, whatever. Like you guys said, like of course you always have a preconceived notion of how you think somebody's going to be. And how I thought John was going to be is how he was. Like I literally was like, he's going to be cool, like I already know. And that's how he was. And so, you know, yeah, I'm happy that all of us got to know him. We got to spend time with him. We got to talk to him. We got to, you know, get to know him. And so now for his next chapter, going on to the Rockets, you know, we all wish nothing but the best for him. Like I was so happy. I mean, all of us were. We were so happy to see him score those first 2 points of his first game in 2 years. Like it's just like
first play of the game.
Right.
Right.
So we're gonna toast to John really quick.
Toast John.
Wishing him the best.
Yes,
the best.
The best. Cheers.
I'd also like to add, you guys heard it here first, because you know every journalist likes to say I said it first, but I'd like to say I really do think that John Wall will come back and retire as a Wizard. I think that this is really where he wants to be, and whether it's, you know, like a 10-day contract or whatever, like I think he'll come back here at some point.
Yeah, I do.
If
it's a Paul Pierce, yeah, if he just signs, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. But here we also have a clip from John from his after the first game that he played.
First play of the game. I drove, made a layup, and I just knew I was back, man. I know how much hard work I've been through the last 2 years. It was just a real moment for me, even though it was preseason, man. I've been through so much in the last 2 years of not knowing if I'll play basketball again, or losing my mom, having another boy. It's just so much I've been through in adversity that I feel like God just gives his strongest battles to his toughest people. And the team I have and the people that's in my corner, they show loyalty throughout this whole process I've been through, and it's just exciting to be back on the NBA floor again.
Wow. It's hard to watch.
Can't wait to see him during the regular season.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're playing.
He looks in great shape. Like, honestly, he looks like he was never even injured. Like, he looks just as fast. And I think he mentioned, it doesn't feel like I'm in the NBA. It felt like when I was in high school, I feel faster than ever. So
yeah.
And
knowing him,
a lot of haters, and he's ready to just prove everybody wrong. Like, I think that's what his excitement is. He's just like, all right,
a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited for it. I think we'll all always be Wall fans. So wherever he goes, whatever he does, we'll always be rooting for him.
Yeah. For
Sure.
So what we got next?
Yeah, I was gonna say we move on to now continue to talk about the Wizards. But now, of course, Wall is out, but we have Mr. Russell Westbrook in. So what do you guys think about this trade? What do you guys, we've gotten to see Westbrook play, practice, and we've gotten to talk to him on a couple of Zoom calls. So what are you guys' overall thoughts?
Yeah, Carita, you.
I was a little skeptical at first, obviously, because what we just said about John Wall, and that's who we're all used to. And then, you hear things about Russell Westbrook and how he's gotten along with other teammates. So at first I was skeptical, but he won me over his first Zoom call, honestly. Just how he was talking about how he plays the game, and he was like unapologetic for it. He was like, I don't have any friends on the floor. I'm not trying to be friends. And he was like, I'm not apologizing for that. But then he also talked about what he likes to do in the community. And he really spoke from the heart. So I know that he was being honest and telling the truth with that. And just by the way of what we've heard on these calls, the players seem to be responding to him very well, even Brad. They've talked about his leadership, his work ethic, being at practice early. So I think it's really going to rub off on the young guys and be a positive addition to the team. And like I said, Brad seems to like him so far, which is important.
They all seem to like him. And I think, it's important to note that he showed up, like you said, he showed up to practice 2 hours early on his first day, which really sets the tone. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of a player doing that here. So,
I'm excited about it. The reality is, after we got over the emotional shock, right, of John being traded, the reality is, Russell Westbrook is a superstar. Yeah. He's what we consider a superstar. And he's played at the highest level of this sport. And he's a beast out there. He's a dog out there, and he knows it, and everybody in the league knows it. And he is totally unapologetic about that, which I love, to Carita's point a moment ago. I'm anxious to see how he's able to teach and mentor this young team. And even Brad. I think Brad can learn a lot from Russell Westbrook and even elevate his game. I know there's concerns about Russell Westbrook's ball dominance, but it seems like some of that is even a false narrative. I'm not getting the sense that anyone else is concerned about that. They're like,
it could be a fresh start, just a fresh start. And like you said, like, they call him in the league a walking triple-double. So, we got someone like that on our team now. So, go ahead, Bree.
I'd like to, I'm not Bree, I'm Becca.
No,
I thought I was
earlier.
I just want to add that, I've heard in the press conferences, at least, that, the narrative, like Candi said, is kind of, I don't buy it, because they keep saying, he's always looking for Brad. He's always looking, to set up his other teammates. And the fact that he has such great intensity and energy, you can't put a price on that. And I think to have somebody, a leader like that, that's going to take pressure off of Brad, because for the last 2 years, he's had to kind of carry the team on his own. I just think that, having a Hall of Fame talent does not hurt one bit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's it is like everybody said, like it was hard to see John go, and we're definitely gonna miss him. But this is a good look for the Wizards. I mean, they're, you know, they have been preaching for a long time. We're ready to win. We're, you know, playoff. We're like all of that stuff, all of these goals that they were trying to hit. And so now to have someone, like you guys said, MVP, triple double, all of that stuff is great. And I think too, like what Russell was saying, like how I am on the court is not how I am in real life. Like when I'm out here, when I'm playing, like that's all I'm concentrated on. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what, like, no, like what you guys said, nobody is my friend out here. Like, but when I'm off the court, okay, cool. We could, like, we saw, you know, clips of him giving advice to the new rookie, Denny, and talking to Rui, and like really just giving that knowledge and experience to these guys who haven't been around someone who's made it to the finals or who's, you know, gotten these accolades. So yeah, it's definitely bittersweet, but we're, I know, I like
a good trade.
We have to roll with it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you guys said.
Oh, we were all talking over each other.
I was just
talking over Carita.
A good trade.
Yeah. Overall, yes.
Yeah, I mean, remember what Tommy Shepard said, in order to get one of the best point guards in the league, you got to trade one of the best point guards in the league, and that's what they did. So, and
it was an opportunity that probably doesn't come along a lot. You know, Russell Westbrook wanted out, and they saw an opportunity and they took advantage of it. So I can't be mad.
And speaking of that too, with Russell Westbrook wanting out, and then with all of these, with the whole trade that happened, and then with people saying, well, you know, Brad and John never got along anyway, so this is probably good and all this stuff. I mean, what do you guys have to say to that? Because as far as what we've seen, it hasn't been any turmoil or anything. Like, they don't hate each other. It's just like they might.
It's just not true.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. I think brothers fight, right?
Right.
So that's all it is. I think, you know, there may have been some things that were witnessed. You know, in basketball, you know, practice gets intense. It's not for the weak. So if you see a situation, if tones get a little crazy, it's just part of the game. It's just part of practice. But they're brothers, and I can totally appreciate Brad mentioning that in his presser. Remember, right after John got traded, Brad even said out loud, "Whoa, I hope I don't get emotional about this." Because you could tell it was still very raw for him. Just like it was for the fans. And I could totally appreciate when Brad did a post specifically to John and addressing that very thing, Bree. People used to try to put us against each other, and it was just not true.
And he's also said the same thing pretty much in that same presser.
Yep.
Same exact words. People try to put us against each other, and it's not true. And I think about it. You talk about brothers fight. I think about like my coworkers. I don't like all my coworkers, but I can work with them. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they don't like each other, but what I mean is you don't have to always get along with the people that you work with. That doesn't mean that there's a huge problem.
Right.
I mean, Shaq and Kobe had their moments, right? But they got it done, you know? Like, we're all here for the same goal, so.
To win. That's really all it's about.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not all roses and rainbows.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The national media has got to stop doing that clickbait stuff, man. I hope I never hear about that again. I was triggered every single time I saw that. I was like, oh my God, it's like an annual thing.
Right.
And we can probably go ahead and dispel another rumor. Can we dispel the rumor that John wanted out of DC? That's not true.
That's
not true.
Yeah, no,
definitely. Earlier,
I think that he only wanted out once he heard that his name was a part of a trade. Right. That's what I think.
I agree.
Because loyalty is important to him, and at that point, he probably felt like there was maybe an issue with loyalty. So
the trust wasn't there. Yeah.
I mean, because you've been here for 10 years. It's like, what? It's like, what's the point?
What's the rush? Yeah.
To leave. So, Yeah, let's dead that too. Great point. And so what do you guys think about the chemistry? Of course, we haven't seen them play together yet, but with Brad and Russ now, what do you think that's going to be like these same rumors again, or they're both dominant players? What do you guys?
I wouldn't be surprised if there were rumors, because I just think that that's the nature of the beast. Everybody wants to create a problem, especially media, because drama is what sells, so to speak. But I think that they both, we know Brad wants to win.
Right.
We know Russell wants to win. This team wants to win. So I think that they will actually get along just fine. What I like about Russell is he has said, I'm here to make Brad's job easier. I'm here to help him. So it sounds like he knows what his place is on the team, on the offense. So I think they'll be fine. I think it's a fresh start. I think they're going to be beasts out there, honestly.
Yeah, I think
so. I'm excited. I am excited to see them play together.
Yeah, I think once they figure out the rhythm and, because it does take a few games to, build the chemistry, and, the practices and the camp was shorter than, most of the times, as Scott Brooks has said, they have time over the summer to evaluate players and see where they're at and kind of like ease them in easier. But now with COVID-19, it's been a mess. But I really think that it's not going to take them that long to develop the backcourt chemistry.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I really am. I mean, and in terms of the rumors, I think some of them are already starting, right? Like Russell is going to stunt Brad's growth, and how are they going to work together? And it's like, in real life, it's really not an issue. In real life, it's really not a problem.
Right.
That's the stories people like to hear, though.
Exactly. And so people might be looking at our podcast like, come on, ladies.
But it's like we're talking to them every day. It's like we're talking to them every day.
Right. We're going to give you what's real. And what's real is Wizards fans need to be excited. Seriously.
Yes.
It's an exciting time.
So what are some of the games you guys are looking forward to? Of course, when we go against Houston, that's going to be a big game.
That's definitely the obvious.
I might not do too well emotionally.
We're all going to have each other. We're going to watch
it. Over here. You're not supposed to be over there. You're supposed to be over here.
Right. What are you doing?
Exactly.
I'm going to cheer for everybody. I don't care. Good job, Wall.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this backcourt plays against the other backcourts in the Eastern Conference, just to see where we can stack up. Obviously, they did play against the Brooklyn Nets, but Russ and Beal didn't play, so we didn't get to see that.
Was a close game too.
But that's what I was going to say. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to that game again, because it was so close without Russ and Brad.
And Bertans.
KD and Kyrie played for a while.
Right. I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from what I remember. So I can't wait to see that matchup again for that very reason.
I can't wait. That's the game I can't wait to see. The Wizards against the Nets. The Wizards in Miami.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. And I'm just interested in seeing Russell Westbrook bring that West Coast flair to the East.
Right.
I'm really like, what's up? Because he was in the West his whole career.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's always the West was the team to beat. So I want to see how this goes down. I'm excited.
And that's going to be a big thing for the East too. I don't think people can just say, before they used to write off the East, and it's just like whoever comes out of the East is whatever. But
he
now
makes it a threat. He makes the Wizards a threat.
Right. Not only that, but KD as well, and even seeing the Heat in the finals last year, like they're like everybody's stepping up, and so I think this is going to be a crazy season.
They don't sleep on the East.
Yeah. East.
And we can't put a ceiling on Beal and Westbrook because we haven't seen them play together. So they could be, they could be really something like to watch out for in the East.
But I do want to say something, because we talked a lot about Brad and Russell, but like there's so many other guys on the team that I think are going to step up this year. Like Rui, this is his second year now. So I think we're going to see him take another step. there's still Thomas Bryant, who always played hard. Hopefully he doesn't deal with any injuries this year. So there's him. Yeah. They signed Davis Bertans. So, I mean, I think that we got Denny. I can't even forget about Denny. So I think we got some.
That's right.
We got us a squad.
They've all been working on their shooting. David, excuse me, I always mispronounce names, especially we can talk about Giannis later. But Davis Bertans, like, it's just he said today everybody's been working on their shooting, and you can see it from the practice clips. You know, Rui can shoot threes now. Denny is just an incredible shooter. You know, in the preseason game, he made all of his shots. He had a perfect night. So there's going to be a lot of options for Russ when he gets on the court to who he can set up. You know, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, Denny is already looking like a steal.
Right.
Superstar in the making.
That's what everybody keeps saying too. They're like, dang, they thought he was going to be taken earlier. He wasn't.
I just like how he seemed like he had no fear, which he had been playing with professionals beforehand, but there just seemed to be he seemed fine out there, comfortable, just doing his thing. I also want to say one more game I'm looking forward to. I want to see them play the Lakers, obviously the champs last year. I want to see how they match up by the time they play.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see Rui dunk on LeBron. Did you see him the other night? How he just like went over KD. It was crazy. I loved it.
Yes.
Like, own him.
Yes, but as we're continuing to talk more about, games coming up, I mean, there's a lot of news that has been going on around the league. So with our second W, Candi is going to tell us what's going on.
Yes, the second W is what's going on. So we have to talk about John's new teammate, James Harden. Now, James is playing tonight. I believe the Rockets are playing right now. I'm glad he showed up. I'm glad he's in attendance. Because I thought he was going AWOL for a minute there. I didn't know where he was going to end up.
What is wrong? What is up?
Doing his thing.
But, I mean, what's up? Do y'all think he's going to – I mean, I guess I'm trying to think through – he showed up, he's playing. So does this mean he's going to stay and he's going to be good? We know over the weekend it came back up again. Like, Harden doesn't care if John Wall is there or not. He wants out. And there was a lot of trade rumors still going on. I'll start with Carita. What is James Harden doing?
I don't know what James Harden is doing, but what I will say is he has no choice. If I'm the Rockets, I'm not giving up James Harden unless it is an amazing deal and a trade that I'm going to benefit from. And right now it's like he's got a big contract too. So what team is going to pick up his contract? So whether he wants to be there or not, I think he's there for a while. Unless some blockbuster trade comes up, I don't see him leaving the Rockets. He just gonna have to get along with John at this point.
Right.
Like, suck it up.
Absolutely. Bree, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, I think he should give it a try. You have a bunch of new teammates. You have DeMarcus Cousins. You have Wall. You know, it's a new vibe. You have a new coach. Like, just give it a try and just see what happens. Because right now, especially because how quick this Wall and Westbrook trade happened, it's because it was pretty mutual, but for him, it's not really looking like it's going to be that easy. And so it's just like, teams, this is already a really awkward season. It's shorter than the other one. So it's like you have 10 less games that you can play with the Rockets. I think you can, I feel like you can do it.
You can get through it.
You have no choice probably.
Right. Right. Becca, what do you think is going on with Harden? Is he staying or is he going?
Well, like the consensus has said, he doesn't have a choice. Do I think it would be, if the Rockets had options, of course, get him out of there. But they can't. Like Carita said, they don't have an option that's really worth it. I think, what's going to happen eventually is, unfortunately, it seems like he's really convinced that he doesn't want to be there. So I think by midseason or by the trade deadline, he's probably going to be out of there. But the Rockets aren't just going to settle for, any trade. And yeah, what as far as what is he doing? I think he was at a birthday party or a hookah bar. I'm not really sure. Like, I don't want to speculate too much, but like he had like a Instagram story with like a weird emoji. Like, I don't know what was going on, but hopefully he can get it together for our guy Wall, because I really want to see him successful. So James Harden, don't know what you're doing, but you need to get it together.
Yeah, we were glad to see him finally show up for training camp, and he was getting up shots and all of that. So it's a step in the right direction, but
right, we don't know what's happening. So that is a TBD, but they are playing. He showed up, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a start.
So, yeah, it's a start. It's a start. It's a start. So also what's going on? I think the big news today, and now all the y'all gonna laugh at me, but I'm not gonna even do it. Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks. What's his last name, Bree?
Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
He's about to breathe.
Yes. Giannis signed a 5-year, $228 million super max contract today. So if there was ever any question if Giannis wanted to be a Milwaukee Buck, I think that question has been answered today. He's made it very clear. Milwaukee is his home. It's his city. He's blessed to be able to be a part of the Milwaukee Bucks for the next 5 years. So, hey, if he would have said, no, I'm not doing this, he would have been an unrestricted free agent next year. So he went ahead and got that done. So, Becca, I'm going to start with you on what are your feelings about this Supermax for Giannis?
Well, first of all, that's more money than anyone, most 99.9 people see in their lifetime. So congrats on the bag, bro. I'd also like to say I'm happy, because as you know, a lot of players don't stay with their franchise that they were drafted in. So I think that's a great sign. I think it really speaks volumes as to how he feels about Milwaukee. I was kind of hoping maybe he'd go to the West just because, less competition in the East. But what can I say? Like, he's a freak. Like, he's what he is, it's amazing. So I think he definitely earns that contract, and congrats. It's a lot of money. Can I hold $5 or something? I don't know.
Yeah, look, a dub for the Triple W podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring your thoughts on Giannis' new deal.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. Like, this, just like what Becca was saying, like, to see someone who's grown within an organization is like a really good sight to see. And I was, saying earlier, like, I love how he was joking around and saying, like, yeah, of course, like, super teams are cool. Like, just come here, come to Milwaukee, come on down here, And so for him to like really solidify that this is where I want to be, this is where I want to play. Of course, who knows what will happen down the line, but for him to do it now is a big sign and a great sign for the Bucks fans. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his family. Hopefully his brothers see this too. And, maybe their situations are not going to be exactly the same, of course, but for them to see, their brother commit and all of that. So.
Yep. Carita.
Toast to that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what everyone said. I'm happy for him. It's the largest deal in NBA history, by the way. So that is crazy to me. He deserved it. There was speculation that he would potentially want to leave. And I think the Heat were in the conversation about a team that was looking at him. So now there's no questions of where he's going to be for the next 5 years. Right. And I do think it's great for him, his family. He just had a child. So I don't know how old he is, but I don't know how old his child is, but pretty young. So I think it's great stuff. I'm not even mad at him.
Can't even be mad at the bag, y'all.
I'm like, Becca, let me hold something.
Let me hold $2, please.
Right.
$2.
You can't even be mad at the bag. So, yep, for today, that is what's going on. in terms of sports. So I'm going to turn it over to Carita for our third W about women in sports.
Yes, our third W is women in sports. And this is where we're going to pay homage to some amazing women in this industry who are doing big things. And our first spotlight is none other than Natasha Cloud with the Washington Mystics.
Yes.
Here in the DMV for the first one. She just recently was named to Forbes 30 under 30 list. And I just want to read the reason why they picked her for the list, which is saying basically because she opted out of the 2020 season to fight for social justice. Also in June, Converse signed her as the first female basketball player since re-entering the basketball market and paid her salary during her activism leave, which included organizing a protest in Washington, D.C. in the wake of George Floyd's murder. So, I mean, all of this describes what Natasha Cloud has showed us. What I love about her is her heart for activism. Last season, she led a media blackout to bring attention to gun violence in Southeast DC, where the Mystics play. That was huge. And I had a chance to talk to her at an event called Athletes and Activism. And she was really strong about using her platform for social justice issues and just activism, period. So kudos to Natasha. We're going to play a clip from the Undefeated, their WNBA diary series about her social justice efforts. And then we'll talk a little bit more about Natasha.
It re-motivates me to see people out here fighting the same fight I'm fighting. It motivates me in a lot of different ways, not only because DC is a second home to me, but if they can be out here on the streets, then there's no damn reason that I'm not using the platform that God gave me. I want to be known in the community. I want people to know that I walk these same streets that you walk, that I don't put myself on a pedestal as a professional athlete. I'm here with you. I hear y'all, I see y'all. This is us together. Being present, understanding what the fight is about, seeing this power behind this is everything. So don't only speak about change, be about change. Show up.
Yes. So I want to start with you, Bree.
She's incredible.
Why do you think Natasha Cloud is deserving of our first Women in Sports spotlight?
Yeah, it's great to see, like, just someone in, not like to say like, oh, star players versus bench players, but she is one of the faces of the Washington Mystics, and for her to like put all of that aside to, you know, to fight for this, and not just equality, that's something just that she faces, but to really, you know, build a platform for a lot of people. And Natasha has also been very open about how she was raised and how she was raised with a majority white family. And in that time, like her growing up and seeing, you know, seeing how sometimes she was treated differently, and for her to be able to now be able to be a voice and an example for other kids that may, you know, grow up in the same situation, or just people of color in general, like, it's really great to see. And again, she's setting an example for professional athletes, like of everybody. I mean, seeing her and Brad work together in DC and then marching for the Juneteenth march, like, just seeing all of that is just great to see. We also, I mean, we hope that we can see her play again, but we, you know, we understand this is something very important to all of us. So.
And it takes a lot to opt out of an entire season to dedicate yourself to a movement, like you said, that was very important. Okay, Candi, I'll go to you.
I love it. I love it. I love Natasha Cloud. She's just awesome, and of course, you know, she's part of our whole kind of DC family and everything else with the Washington Mystics, that everyone has said. But she's setting such a great example for everyone that cares about this fight against social injustice. And I just appreciate her. And that was so big of her to say this. I'm doing this instead of playing basketball, the sport that she loves. And that's her talent and where she gets her paycheck. You know, I don't know how many people would literally just walk away and be like, this is what I'm going to do, because this is just how much I'm passionate about this cause and about the community. So kudos to her, well deserved. And I'm glad she's repping the Mystics.
Yes, the DMV's finest. All right, Becca.
Well, I think we saw a lot of things this summer that were made very, public, a lot of people that didn't see, what's going on when it comes to racism. They saw it on the news, they saw it on the streets. And I think the fact that Natasha Cloud rose to the occasion was just phenomenal. Like you all have said, she sacrificed her whole season, and she is very vocal on Twitter. Every day she's on it, speaking her mind. She's not backing down from anyone. And I think as athletes, setting the tone and, standing up for things when they're not right. I think that's very important that she's using her platform, and she's not just using it. She's really implementing every platform, every aspect of her platform to, speak on what she believes in. And I think she's a total sweetheart. Like, she's amazing. She's so down to earth. And I think if anybody deserves, kudos, it's her. So
absolutely,
we love you, Natasha,
absolutely,
if you're listening.
And as women in sports ourselves, we think it's really important on every episode to shine the light on women who are doing great things in this industry. So this will be a continued segment. It is a part of our Triple W's.
Yes.
So with that, we are at the end of our episode, our first episode.
We have to first, before we leave, we have to make our prediction for the season. The season has not started yet. This is the 2020, 2021 season. And so, so I think we had decided either you're going to do a hot take or a, what was the other thing? Sorry.
Yeah, so we're going to all just do our predictions.
Okay, yeah. So just
like our record predictions and what we think. So I guess I can go first. I'm going to give them a 40-32 record. I think with Westbrook, they definitely can get 40 wins. So that's what I'm going with. That's my prediction for the Wizards this season.
To go off Carita, I think the same thing. I'm going to say 35 to 40 wins. I think they had 29 wins last season. So I think any wins this season that are more than that would be an improvement. And playoffs are definitely happening. So 8th seed, here we come.
I definitely think they will make the playoffs too.
Yeah. So maybe I'm being a bit ambitious because I'm like, however many wins gets them to the 5th seed. We're going to go up 5. We're going to go up 3. We're going to be 5th seed.
All right. I like it.
I love it.
I definitely think they're going to make the playoffs. And even going outside the Wizards, I think the Phoenix Suns are going to make the playoffs too because of how they play. But and they have Chris Paul on there and everything. So yeah, but definitely the Wizards. I think they're going to make the playoffs as well.
Yeah, what happens?
That's very exciting. Hopefully
whatever they do, they better make the playoffs.
And hopefully we'll be able to be like at the games during that time.
They should be able to make the playoffs, right? And hopefully COVID will go away sometime in the process so we can be at the games and bring you even more coverage than we are right now on this podcast. So who wants to take us out? Candi, you want to take us out?
I mean, hey, I'm happy to. Hey, look, guys, this is the first of many. We are on social media. On social media. I repeat, listen, follow the Triple W Dub podcast on Twitter. And we're the Triple W podcast on Instagram. Give us some time to get some content up there. But listen, you're going to want to be the first to see all the content once it's there. Trust me, it is an account that you want to make sure you are following for certain. All of us Yes, we have our separate brands, but when we come together, we're stronger together. We're stronger as a collective. So make sure you're following each one of us as well. So I'll start, and then we got to go around so everyone can share where they can be followed. You can follow me on Facebook at Seawall Sports and Entertainment, on Twitter at Seawall SE, and on Instagram at Seawall Sports. Becca, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. Don't add me on Facebook. I don't use it that much. You can find me at Becca MVP. You can find Wizards Extra spelled XTRA. And yeah, we'll be on there. So you got to get all of us. You got to follow us all.
Yeah. Bree, where should they follow you?
You can follow me at Vids by Bree. BIDSBYBRE. I spell my name with the E. And a lot of people, there's a lot of different ways to spell Brianna, so I get it, but mine is BRE.
And Carita.
All right. You can find me on all social media platforms at Carita C. Parks, spelled like you see on the screen, at Carita C. Parks. Also, you can follow Double Tate Sports. That's at DBL Tate Sports. That's also on all social media platforms. So make sure you're following us all. And don't forget to follow our playlist on Spotify as well. Triple W Podcast.
Yes. We'll have each of the songs from each episode on there to, I'm sure you'll like and add to your own playlists as well. So.
All righty. Well, more to come, everyone. We had a blast.
Yes.
Cheers. All right, cheers.